You good, Maverico here? Welcome to podcast episode number 177. Think outside the box and act outside the box. A lot of people talk about the importance of thinking outside the box. I guess it should be kind of self-evident that it also means acting outside the box. But oftentimes it seems to not be the case. So yeah, for those of you watching the video version, look at that view. So yeah, thinking outside the box, a lot of people talk about it to the point of it becoming a famous quote. But what does it help if you think outside the box but never act outside the box? It's an important point. Taking action, that's oftentimes one of the main differentiating factors between people people achieving great things and those that don't, taking action. There was this study that was being made by, I think it was a company or something like that. They studied salespeople. What was it that made the best performing salespeople perform the best? What was it? Because I think they had pretty similar training and stuff. But what they came up with, or what they found, was that the thing they thought was the main factor was speed of implementation. That once they learned something, they applied it super fast. Whereas most of the other ones, they didn't. So yeah, having a bias toward action. I think that's a saying from the Navy SEALs. Having a bias toward action. Now, that's the Navy SEALs. They find themselves in extreme situations, war and stuff. Maybe you're not exactly in a war yourself, but in many cases, war is kind of like almost a microcosmos of a lot of things that goes on in general life. And the thing in war is that if you think about things and you don't take action, oftentimes doing, of course there's exceptions to this, but doing anything, just doing something, is better than nothing. Because if you do nothing and you just stand there like frozen in your tracks, boom, oh, you got hit by something. Yeah, you should have done something. We tend to think that doing nothing, well, at least it's risk-free. At least nothing will go wrong if I don't do anything. At least it's safe and secure. Well, not always. Because time flies. And if you do nothing, it might in some cases even be worse than making a mistake, of course, depending on the mistake. But a lot of mistakes are what's called reversible mistakes. You can fix things again. But if you lose 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you can't get those years back. So there is a risk in doing nothing and postponing things, procrastinating as well, If time is one of the most valuable, non-renewable resources we have, well, if you've spent a day, you're never going to get it back. If you lose some money, it's not a good thing, but it is possible to earn it back, The thing is, if you only think normally and do normal things in a normal way, at a normal scale, the thing is, if you only think normally and act normally and do normal things in a normal way at a normal scale, then you shouldn't be expecting to get better than normal results. You know, thinking outside the box. Well, what box are we really talking about? What is this box that people talk about? Well, I guess there's a lot of different metaphorical boxes you can be in. Maybe the 9-to-5 rat race is one box, where being an employee in a job and having that as your one and only source of income, maybe that's one box, you know. And if you think outside that box, maybe you want to escape the rat race and live a life of more freedom and options. Well, you probably have to act outside the box as well, you know. Anyway, I just wanted to share that quick one today. If you're looking for permission to think outside the box and act outside the box, well, here you have it. By the way, I mentioned the 9-to-5 rat race as one of those boxes. And if you want to escape the 9-to-5 rat race, of course, there's thousands of opportunities and options. But one of them that I think can be a great option for a lot of people, especially if you want a lot of time freedom, is to build a paid community, an online community. You know, the last few weeks, I've been interviewing a bunch of real life success stories for my online education and community platform, Terrific 30. I've been interviewing a bunch of real life success stories of people that are running paid communities that are making at least $10,000 in profit per month. And it's been mind-boggling. Both when it comes to how fast they did it, and a lot of them, how little time they spend on it every week, how much freedom they have, how much value you can provide to your members. It's fascinating. And the thing is, I'm not an expert at this. I've not even done it properly myself yet, but still it's inspiring. And the things I've learned from those few interviews, yeah, like I said, it's mind-boggling. The dream of freedom is possible. Years ago, I read the famous book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Escape 9-to-5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich by Timothy Ferriss. And since I read that book years ago, I've also listened through the entire over 8-hour long audiobook at least 20 times. And that's despite the fact that I do not want to only work 4 hours a week. I do not want to work that little because there's so many things I want to do. But still, the concept is absolutely fascinating. You know, that just that it's possible. But the thing is, after I read the 4-Hour Workweek, from time to time I just searched the internet and seen if I could find some real life success stories of people that built lifestyle businesses and were only working like 4 hours per week. But it was like extremely hard to do it. Like after a few years, I was able to find a few success stories, especially people that did email marketing. But other than that, it was, yeah, extremely hard to find. And sometimes I posted in Facebook groups just because I was curious and asking if anyone knew about someone that only worked like 4 hours per week, things like that. And the comment sections are just wild. Like people get angry about it. It's a scam. No, it's not a scam. Some people are doing it. No, I'm not promoting idleness, just to be clear. Hard work is good, laziness is bad. But like I said, still it's fascinating. And the thing is, so far I've interviewed about 12 people that are running paid communities. I'm going to interview at least 30. But yeah, so far, 2 of those people that I've interviewed, they were working less than 4 hours per week on their paid community. These days, you know, they're working less than 4 hours per week on their paid community. One lady, she worked a lot more than 4 hours per week, but that was because she was building another company as well on the side. So she had a paid community that she had been running for like about 10 years. And it took her like 2 to 3 hours per week of work to run that paid community, she said. But on the side, she was building another business. So yeah. Now that was 2 of them. But also several of the other people that I interviewed that had paid communities, several of them were working like around 15 hours per week to run their paid community. So the dream of freedom is possible. Now, like 2 to 15 hours a week, that's not passive income, but it is something that we can call semi-passive income. I just imagine the kind of lifestyle that you could have if you could, at least from time to time, maybe you would work a lot more than that, usually. But from time to time, maybe you wanted to work on other projects, spend time with family and friends, travel, different things. Just imagine the kind of freedom you could have if you're making like somewhere in between $10,000 and $100,000 in profit per month. Oftentimes we tend to think that we need millions and millions of dollars in order to live a life of freedom. And of course, having tens of millions of dollars would be a massive advantage and an amazing thing. But the thing is, there are multi-millionaires around the world that have lifestyles that are worse and less ideal than a lot of people that are making 5 figures in profit per month. Just imagine the options you would have if you had time, income, and location independence. And maybe you don't have to work as an employee in a job for 40 years to make it happen. Maybe you don't have to wait until you retire. You know, talking about thinking outside the box and acting outside the box. One of the things that I found in many conversations with people is that one of the boxes, one of the mental boxes that people have put themselves into is like the paradigm of what's possible when it comes to income. Like they have set it in their mind that that's possible, and there's a certain limit to it. It's like if you talk about anything that is outside of the normal range of monthly income, it's like their brain just shuts off. You can see it in their facial expressions. It's like they, it looks like they have diarrhea in their mouth. It's like, It's like they get angry. It's I know it sounds stupid because it is kind of stupid. It looks like they have diarrhea in their mouth. It's like they're almost shaking for you to stop talking. It's like because you said something. Oh, yeah, that would be really cool to do. We could like do this and that. You know, if you had a helicopter, we could fly to that place. Helicopter, it's impossible. And it looks like they are about to explode because you mentioned flying with a helicopter. It's not possible, but it costs. Yeah, but if we did something amazing, if we started a business, made a bunch of money, from time to time we could just hire a helicopter to fly to that place just for fun. Is it really impossible? Are you trying to break the natural laws? Are you breaking the laws of physics? Is it really physically 100% totally and completely impossible? No, it's not. It's because they are thinking and acting inside the mental box of where goes the limit, like $3,000 to $6,000. That's like the monthly income. That is kind of average in a lot of countries. So immediately, once you start talking about something outside that range, it's like it short circuits their brain, kind of. I'm not talking about everyone, but a lot of people. I don't even mean it in a rude way. It's just one example of how locked in some people are in the metaphorical box they are inside when it comes to their paradigm, you know. And of course, when I say think outside the box and act outside the box, if you don't even dare to think outside the box, then how are you expecting to suddenly act outside it? But yeah, there are teenagers out there making tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit per month. That doesn't mean that it's super easy, but it does mean that it's possible for a lot of people. If a 16-year-old can do it, and if thousands of 16-year-olds can do it, then maybe you and I can do it as well. You know? Anyway, I talked about those people running paid communities that I've interviewed. If you want to learn from those people and also connect with a bunch of other people that are in the process of building their own paid communities, I highly advise you to check out communitycashcows.com. communitycashcows.com. All right. Take care and God bless.